Alright guys, what's up y'all? It's your girl and I'm back for another video. So today we're going to be doing a quick little mukbang. This is my little ghetto rig setup, okay? It's nighttime, so I tried to make the light as best as possible, so hopefully you guys can see me. Oh, Onyx is over here in his bouncer, but I don't know if I like moving the camera, so you guys just gonna have to work with me. I have a nacho bowl from Qudoba, and it's basically steak and chicken. I've got some pico, some corn salsa, some jalapenos in here. Y'all know I love my jalapenos. My mouth was watering. Cheese, guac, just all that good stuff. Look at all that. The beans, just y'all get in there. All that good stuff. I always get my chips on the side. It just makes better sense to me to get them on the side and then dip. Yes. Plus, I think you get more ingredients that way. The bowl doesn't fill up. Oops. I'm going to get a couple bites in, and then we're going to get started. Today, I haven't done a mukbang in such a long time, so it's kind of awkward. Like, ooh, what do I talk about? I was like, ooh, what do I do? Okay. My experience with toxic relationships or abusive relationships or unhealthy relationships. Okay. Kind of a deep one. Okay. So, I feel like a lot of the relationships that I've been in were toxic in their own ways. But I'm not going to go through every relationship I've ever been in. I've had a lot of good times. I've had a lot of bad times. But specifically speaking about my last relationship, since that's the most recent relationship I've been in. That stuff looks so good, y'all. Look at that. I want to talk about how that relationship was toxic. I first knew that relationship was really toxic about 2 years in, maybe about a year and a half in, and we started like arguing all the time. It was after I feel like after I found out that he cheated on me, the relationship just was never the same after that. Me now would be like, okay, there's just no going back because I know me. But me then was trying to convince myself that it was going to work out in the end, which, as we all see, didn't get me anything, didn't get me anywhere. So it didn't work out in the end. So I really should have just saved my time. But it just got to a point to where everything was a problem. Everything was a problem. Look at that. Okay, I know you want some. Everything was a problem. It just seemed like the people he hung out with was a problem. Every time he wanted to go out, it was a problem. Every time he wanted to do anything outside of like school, it was a problem. It was a problem. I became somebody I didn't even like want to be. I was really like, where you going and where you going? Why are you wearing that? What you going out to do? You know, that type of woman. And I never wanted to be that way. I told him when I found out that he cheated that I didn't want to be that woman, and I ended up being that woman anyway. There was a point in our relationship where we argued all the time. Well, not all of the time, but regularly. You know, like it just would seem like we always we couldn't even talk to each other without it turning into an argument. And honestly, that's when I should have known that the relationship was just toxic, too toxic to be in. And I remember, but again, me trying to, I don't know what I was trying to do, honestly. Save my family, save my marriage, be whatever it is I thought I was justifying it in my mind, like, you know, it'll get better. Because that's me. That's my personality. I'm like, it'll get better. It'll get better, you know. And honestly, to be honest, guys, it doesn't even matter what type of personality you have. Women as general, people as general, in general, want to try to save their relationships. And sometimes it's really hard to let go, even if you know it's toxic. Christmas Eve, and my mom was over, and the kids were asleep. And I remember like somehow having an argument. I think it had something to do with I bought myself an iMac with my money. Can't remember exactly why we had an argument about me buying myself that, but I don't know. Long story short, it ended up being about me buying myself that iMac. That's what I remember. And I'm like, I worked hard at this time. Let me tell you guys what I was doing. I was doing YouTube full time. And at the same time, I was working for UPS. I worked a seasonal job there. I had to work overnights. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm pregnant with Blaze. All right. So I was pregnant with Blaze. I was working overnight from like 6 p.m. to like 2 a.m. or something like that. Actually, no, it was later than that. It was 12-hour shifts. So I worked from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I would come home and sleep for an hour, and then I'd have to get up and I would have to get up and go get the kids ready for school and drive them to school, and then come home, and I still had Junebug at home. I still had Cash at home with me. So, and I think, did I have the twins with me at that time? I had the twins at home too. So I still had 4 kids at home. And I was pregnant with Blaze, and I had worked all night. And, I did that because I wanted to make that holiday money for the kids. Like I was saying, baby swinging. Basically, yeah, I mean, I worked all night. I made that sacrifice because at that time I wasn't making as much money on YouTube, and I still wanted my kids to have a good Christmas, and so I made that sacrifice. I took that L, and I did that, even though I was pregnant, even though I was tired, even though I really probably should have been resting. I had to make that happen, and so my reward to myself was that iMac. I always wanted one, never had one. I've had MacBooks, but I always wanted an iMac. And so I said, you know what, forget it. I'm gonna buy myself one for my Christmas present, or for my gift to myself in general. Forget Christmas, just for, hey girl, you did this. And it was like a 30-day thing, but it was the longest, hardest 30 days I've ever had in my life. But I did that for my babies, to make sure they had a good Christmas, and to make sure, to make sure that they had everything that they needed. And I don't regret it, but because I bought myself that gift, I think there was a little bit of jealousy, because even though he was working full time, he had to pay child support and stuff like that. And I think that he wasn't able to splurge on himself like that. And outside of that time, I never really had a chance to I never really bought myself anything. That was the biggest thing I had bought myself in the longest amount of time, like literally, because we just didn't have it like that, so everything I had usually went to like bills and the kids, and I never really had money for me. So, when I had it that one time, I decided to splurge. Plus I felt like it was an investment because I'm a vlogger. I YouTube, I can use it for work. So that was all me. Anyway, but yeah, so fast forward. So that's the backstory. Okay. I think he said something that offended me, because I was like, wait a minute, I worked for this. I should be able to buy myself whatever I want. I shouldn't have to worry about, if you feel a certain type of way, you should want me to reward myself. I mean, you know, what's wrong with that? So, we argue, right? We get into a full-fledged argument. My mom's there. She's listening. She hears everything. You know, the kids are asleep, but still, we shouldn't have been arguing, you know. You know, we get into this huge argument. It's loud. Like, we're screaming at each other at this point. And finally, I said, you know what? Just leave. Just go. Just leave. Because clearly, you know, you're not happy here. We're not going to work out. I'm just like, just go. I'm one of those people, I'm quick to pull out. You'll be surprised. That's probably why I've been in a lot of relationships. Not even a lot. But I say that's probably why I've been in a good handful of relationships, because I usually don't stick it out. That relationship was the first relationship where I stuck it out. But I usually don't. Usually at the first sign of trouble, I'm like, I'm not going to do this. Bye. At that point, it had been 2 years. And it just wasn't, we were just going downhill consistently. I felt like we weren't catching a break. And so I was like, you know, just go. And he was like, I'm not leaving. And if I leave, I'm taking Junebug with me. And blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That type of, it was that type of party. And then so I was like really upset. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck this. You know, at that time, I was like, I have one of those mouths that will just like really get somebody. Like I'll call your mama a crackhead. Like if that's what she is. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's why your daddy left you when you was a bat. You know, like, even though it's a low blow, I'm one of those. You know what I mean? When I get really, really upset, I don't fight fair. That's why it's best for me now. That's why as I've gotten older, I've realized, just shut up. Because I just will be like, you know, I'll say all kinds of different things. So, anyway. We argued for a few minutes. And there's this bottle of something or a can or something on the counter. He got mad, smacked the bottle. The top flew off of it and dead hit me in my iris, like my eyeball. Because I was standing in the kitchen and he hit it towards the kitchen. And it hit me in my eye. So my eye was fucked up for a week or so. So even though he didn't physically put his hands on me, that bottle that he hit me. You know what I mean? So then I go crazy. My mom was there like, okay, y'all just, you know, calm down, you know, whoop do it, whatever. She's trying to deflate. She's trying to, you know, calm the situation down. And I'm over here like, this motherfucker just hit me. Blah, blah. You know what I mean? Just going off. Because that had never happened before. You know what I mean? Honestly, at that point, probably before then, the relationship should have been over. We were married. So it wasn't just a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, but still. When it started to escalate, past the point of just being able to have a conversation with each other, we should have ended the relationship then. But we didn't. So, yeah, he apologized and things like that. I felt like it was an excuse to be like, all right, well, he didn't really hit me. You know what I'm saying? He hit a bottle and the bottle hit me, flew in my eye. But you're just making excuses. It doesn't matter that he didn't really actually put his hands on you. He hit you by losing his shit, which he shouldn't have lost in the first place. He had no business getting mad that you bought yourself something anyway. It didn't come from his money. It didn't come take away from the house. It didn't take away from bills, which I was paying all the bills anyway. So, after that, shortly after that, about a year later, we decided to move out here. And I think that we didn't mature past the point of arguing all the time. Because I told him, I'm just not going to argue with you anymore. I can't do it. Like, physically and mentally, it's draining. And I can't live like that. If we're not going to be able to have conversations, then we just don't need to be together. I can't do it, you know. After so much time of arguing, you just can't physically match that same energy anymore. It gets exhausting, especially when it's usually about the same shit, you know. So, all these red flags, all these signs that I saw, even when I was like, just go, just leave. You know what I mean? Just, I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. I remember crying. Like, I just go. I'm tired of arguing. I'm tired. You know, because nothing's going to ever change. We're trying to make something be the way that it was, that it's never going to go back there. You know? So after the fight and after everything died down, you know, we talked about it. We decided, you know, we needed to start over and start fresh. And so we ended up deciding to move out of Colorado. I honestly thought that it was going to, you know, really help our relationship. It really didn't do much about the relationship, but I'm happy being here myself. It was something that I feel like I needed to do regardless of whether he was coming or not. But, you know, at the end of the day, the whole relationship was just toxic. It just was. There's no getting around it. Damn near borderline, you know, it was verbally abusive. Both ends. I would cuss him out. He would cuss me out. I would yell at him. He would yell at me. You know what I'm saying? I never put my hands on him. And he never put his hands physically on me. But, you know, fussing, fighting, arguing, throwing stuff, breaking things, you know what I mean? That is abuse. That's unhealthy. It's toxic. Knowing now what I know, you would never catch me at all making the same type of mistakes, doing the same things that I did then. Never in a million years. It just wasn't worth it. You can't save him, sis. You're not going to change him, sis. You know what I'm saying? Even after the whole big issue with the cheating that we had, even after I decided to continue on with that relationship, I still had issues with him fucking with people, or funny situations would happen, or he would leave and not come back. If you guys go onto my main channel, and you guys will see my my Mother's Day video. I did a Mother's Day video years ago. I was pregnant with Blaze. All I wanted to do was just relax that day. And he didn't have to work. It was a Sunday. I didn't have anything going on. I didn't have to work or anything. All I wanted to do was relax the entire day. Like, you deal with the kids. You get up, you cook them breakfast, you cook them lunch, you cook them dinner, and you take them to the park. Let me relax, let me rest. I'm pregnant. I'm tired. I don't even want to be bothered. He did not have my back that day. He did not have my back the way he should have had my back that day. And then that evening, he was there all day, but then that evening, like, I didn't get to relax like I wanted to. And then that evening, he was like, I'm going to go out with my cousin, that's a whole nother story. I don't like his cousin. He left, and he didn't come back until, I can't remember if he came back, but it was really, really late, or if he didn't come back at all. I can't remember because it was so long ago. But anyway, it was super, super disrespectful. That type of hurt, that type of disrespect, I will never in a million years catch myself going through. I say all that to say this. If you see red flags, girl, and if it's the same red flags from a year ago, it's still going to continue to be that way. You know, just learn from me. Don't try to make him into something he's never going to be. You know, stop trying to hold on to hope. Girl, we can't change them, you know. And sometimes it takes for you to learn that lesson yourself. I'm sure people tried to tell me that, but I didn't listen. So here I am, here I sit. So anyway, but I'm grateful because, like I said, everything that I've been through has taught me what not to go through going forward, what not to take, what not to put up with, and all the red flags to not ignore. Don't ignore any red flags. Okay? Don't ignore your intuition like I did. So I'm learning. I know I had got into it with somebody on my IG the other day, and they mentioned like, oh, you waited till 2020 to know your worth and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, it doesn't matter when I figured it out. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes it takes a little longer for one person to figure it out than the next person. You know what I mean? We all have our own life journey. So yeah, it took me a few F-ups to realize, oh, you worth more than that, even with 9 kids. God's not done with me yet, but I've come a long freaking way. Anyway, I don't really know why I just decided to come out and speak on that. Something just said, speak on it, sis. So I did. I mean, hopefully this helps somebody in some way. Not to say that you should deal with that or put up with that, but just look at me. I mean, you know, I thought I was going to put up with something and it was going to pan out in the long run and we were going to work it out and fight it out. Not saying that you can't when you go through hard times, but, you know, if there are serious major issues in your relationship that are deal breakers at the beginning or in the middle, they're going to still be that way at the end. So don't try to ignore them or act like they're going to go away or they're going to change, because 9 times out of 10, they just don't. So that's just my experience, guys. Also, I know there's some people who have an issue with me eating in my bedroom. This is my happy place, and this is usually where I'm at. Like when I work and do all my recording and stuff like that, I'm usually in my room. I'm not sitting on the toilet eating my food, and I'm not in my bed eating my food. I have a desk. I'm sitting at a desk in a chair, so I don't see the problem with that. I've seen other mukbangers eat in their rooms before. It's not against the law. And then this is where I want to set up and eat. Honey, I'm going to do it. Bye.